Hello and welcome. This is Network Africa. Coming up on the program, presidential candidates in the Central African Republic call for second round rally support. Then the challenges in Burundi linger as many as 230,000 people have fled the country and the United States moves to end the crisis. And later on, the Court of Appeal is accused of not considering the disabilities of Oscar Pistorius while handling his case. Once again, it's a delight to have you join us on Network Africa right here on Channels Television with me, C.A.R. We begin with news in Cameroon that's anything but delightful. This morning, a female suicide bomber has taken the lives of at least 12 people when she detonated a bomb at a mosque in northern Cameroon. So far, there's been no claim of responsibility, but all fingers point to Boko Haram. That's a group which originated from northern Nigeria. It's imperative to note that Cameroonian troops form part of an 8,700-strong regional force created to defeat Boko Haram, which has been a threat to regional security. Analysts believe that could be a potential motive. As things stand now, the United States is in the process of sending military supplies and troops to the Central African country to aid the fight. Now, two candidates who are behind the Central African Republic's presidential race are demanding a manual recount of ballots cast in last month's first round vote, saying that widespread irregularities undermine the credibility of the results. The election appears set to head to a second round after provisional results showed two ex-prime ministers in the lead, but neither winning an outright majority. Observers applaud the mainly peaceful nature of the December 30th polls, which many hope will help put an end to years of deadly interreligious bloodshed. However, Andre Kolimba and Martin Ziguele, who finished third and fourth, are both members of the Alliance of Democratic Forces for Transition political platform and are disputing the result. For more on what's going on in the Central African Republic, we go live to Bamako, where the Voice of America's Katarina Hoija joins us for the latest on this request for a recount by two candidates in the Central African Republic. Katarina, thank you very much for joining us on Network Africa.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Now, I'd like to ask you, has there been any outcome since this request was made by those two candidates for a recount?
What we are waiting for now is for the country's constitutional court to finalize the results, and there is likely to not be any outcome until they have announced the final results of the elections. Any candidate is open to contest the results after the results are announced, but there might likely won't be any changes until the court has made its final decision.
Now, Katarina, is anyone in support of this request? By that I mean if anyone is supporting what these candidates are suggesting. And if so, what are the chances that it will in fact scale through?
Well, I think it's very clear that the elections were organized in somewhat of a rush. They were not perfect. Many polling stations opened late. There were ballot materials lacking at many stations, and not all people were able to vote. So definitely there is support for revising the elections and looking into them. But what I'm thinking is that there won't be any major changes, at least not the result of the presidential elections. What we might see is a revote or redoing the parliamentarian elections in some constituencies.
Now, I'm a bit curious about the method of the recount being suggested by these candidates, saying that it should be counted manually. Doesn't that leave more room for error than any other thing? And it could be more subject to manipulation to some extent.
Well, of course, that would be a risk. What these candidates are looking for is basically to secure the results and be counted again, because it was done in a rush. Obviously, the count was also done manually at the first time, but there were also, however, issues with getting ballots to Bangui. And by redoing this in the capital, I'm guessing that the candidates hope that the process or the results would be more clear.
Just before I let you go, Katerina, I'd just like to ask, from what has been released so far, which obviously made these candidates call for a recount, who do we see in the lead in terms of who might be president when the final results might be out?
Well, we have two candidates in the lead, both former prime ministers. They're Anicet Georges Dologele and Faustin Todera. Both candidates have over 200,000 votes. They are very close in the races, a couple of tens of thousand votes separating them. So it will be a very exciting second round once those results and the second round is announced.
Well, Katerina, thank you so much for giving us the latest. We appreciate your time as always. Thank you very much. The Voice of America's Katerina Hoyger reporting from Bamako. Stay with us on Network Africa. There's more to come, including the latest from Burundi. As many as 230,000 people have fled the country, and the United States moves to end the crisis. Details in just a moment.